such an amazing amount of content, and we want to make that available to our audience. And so people have asked, how do we get access to this? We want to participate, and it's kind of hard to get into Zoom. And so what we did was this take it live, and we're making it available in many different environments so that people can have access to it on a daily basis. Well, today is Thursday, and on Thursdays, we talk about everything that has to do with artificial intelligence, media, AR, VR. We also talk about, the metaverse and all of these other different facets of technology that people may not normally be using in their businesses, but that can be used to not just build a business, but actually make the business more profitable, fix it so that you don't have to work as hard because you can employ technology to do things that you may be using people to do, and use the people resources for things that only people can do. So we're going to talk about that today. And I want to kind of start off, and then I'm going to pass the mic to one of our contractors that's working with us, who runs her own company, who is very knowledgeable about this particular area of business and how we can utilize it to create opportunities for our companies. With that said, let's just talk a little bit about how we use at Red Worldwide artificial intelligence. So we've been using artificial intelligence since our inception, since 2017, before people really understood that there was a such thing as AI. Our company has been involved in several processes that actually are undergirded by artificial intelligence. And it has assisted us in being able to provide services to a lot more people with just such a small team. So let me give you an example of how we use artificial intelligence, and then we'll pass the mic to Javon Freeman, who can kind of see what that might look like for other companies and you personally as you're starting a company. Our company is founded on the concept of providing education to business owners. And so we are an educational support services company, and RED is an acronym for Research, Educate, Develop. The first component of what we do is research. And in doing research, we often will have to do research for companies to find out, or to help them find out, whether or not their ideas are feasible. They're trying to go into the market. They want to make sure they're making a decision. Some of people that have gone into business and worked with us, they've spent their life savings starting a company, and they wanted to make sure that it was probable that they were going to be successful. And so in order for us to get some of the information that we've had to get to make sure they had, the ability to make a good decision, we had to employ AI. And sure, we could have used people to do all of that research, but it would have been very expensive. And it could also have been a situation where they would have to have waited a long time. Feasibility studies take time, and proof of concept, you'll need a lot of information so you can get that proof of concept. And in order for you to have just the bare minimum of information for you to know what your could be out there in the community, it may cost you, quite a bit. So what we're doing is trying to make sure that people don't have to spend money, that they could, really be utilizing in other places in their business. So we absolutely have used AI in a way to provide the research. It goes and it searches the databases for us. It looks on the census data websites. It goes to the Department of Labor's website, and it'll pull, the numbers and tell us, different things. It will actually go out and scrub the internet for information that, is credible, because we're only having it look for credible sources, to provide the information, and we tell it where to go a lot of times. And so it's really important to us to make sure that we're doing that. Tony, I see your hand raised.
Really quick, I have my one of my team members, Kathleen from Texas, on here. I just want to introduce you to her.
Hi, Kathleen. How are you? Great to meet you. Glad to see you on.
Yeah,
Okay.
hi. I've listened to one of your sessions before, so I'm just listening in and learning today.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay. Well, it's good. I mean, we love it when people bring guests and we are excited, for you to be on. Feel free to raise your hand and ask questions because that's what co-working is about. We try to position ourselves so that we have kind of an open atmosphere and people feel comfortable asking their business questions. So as we're going along today, we're talking about AI. And so you jump in if you have a question because this is where you're going to get an answer today. All right. So yeah, so we use it for research. We also use it for education. A lot of the times we need to be able to put together documents quickly. And so our team, I'll tell them, hey, I need you to put together this information. This is where I need you to go get it from. We pay for, certain services that provide us that information quickly and give it to us with the sources so that we are able to cite where we got it. We scrub the Internal Revenue Code a lot of times to provide information to our clients who are looking to see, how they could take advantage of certain tax incentives or other things of that nature. We actually scrub the commercial code of different states through our AI components to grab information for clients when they're looking, can my company do this? I'm in Texas, can I do it here? Can I also do it in Delaware? So we gain that information from credible sources and the AI will go and get it for us, and so we'll share which particular pieces of AI we use on a later podcast. But today we're going to open the floor for Javon Freeman to jump in and share with us. Javon, are you ready? Are you with us? Okay, I think I lost her video. Give me just a second. There she is. Here she comes. Okay.
I'm here. Hi, everyone. My name is Javon Freeman. I am CEO and founder of Divine Lux Properties, an AR and VR solutions company. Today, I am going to go over with everyone the highlights when it comes to AR and VR, as well as the benefits of integration for your business. Just to start out, I've been in the VR and AR industry for almost 3 years. Will be 3 years in the month of August. And I have had the opportunity to work with companies regarding mostly Meta and a few other names to develop for their companies regarding VR and AR. So that's just a bit of information from me so far. 3 years in, I am happy to be here, happy to be able to see the growth and innovation. And I'm also going to give you today the benefits of using AI to produce these environments and experiences as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to it. So when we talk about AI and VR and AR, we are talking about newer industry things. These things have been in the industry. Of course, VR has been a thing for decades, but recently it has gained critical acclaim and things of that nature with movies such as Ready Player Me and things of that nature, showing that people what the potential experience could look like. And of course, that kind of pushed a boom when it came to VR and AR on more of a not so industry standard way. So with that being said, you see there are headsets related to HTC Vive. Most people know mostly about the Meta Quest 2 and the Meta Quest 3 and the Meta Quest Pro. That is the standalone that allows you to be in these VR and AR events as well as environments. So just to get a little bit more in depth with you on the VR and metaverse experience. So far since 2022, and this is based on EarthWeb and global metaverse market, 61.8 billion people have integrated into the metaverse, and it is slated to reach 400 26 billion by 2017. So, I mean 2027. So it is still moving. Currently, it is seeing more than 400 million people monthly as far as active users. So things are moving fairly quickly in that direction as far as a benefit in putting your business or integrating your business into the metaverse. When it comes to that, notice in 2020, there was a lot of changes as far as people going remote and not really interacting with businesses that are mostly brick and mortar, meaning out and about companies versus companies that are virtual or remote. So with that being said, a lot of people went in and saw the benefits of potentially getting to a demographic of people that they would not normally see. I mean, 400 billion people is a lot of people to see in a place that doesn't necessarily have a brick and mortar business, a brick and mortar building, but it's a demographic that who's seeing, I mean, unless you are well-to-do, high up already in ranking in the industry, in whatever industry, you're not seeing 400 billion people. So there's a bill there is, yes, Tony already said 400 billion. Yes, 400 billion people have integrated in the metaverse, and it's slated to get bigger and better because companies are now, multi-billion-dollar companies are now seeing the benefit of having a presence there, even though it's not a physical place. It can be so immersive where you feel like you're actually there. Just for example, yesterday we spoke about the Red Worldwide office. We built basically a virtual brick and mortar building to potentially throw classes, put classes on in there, and of course integrate Red Worldwide into this place where so that they can be able to hit this demographic of people that, of course, you would not necessarily see out there. So there is a benefit. There is a benefit. But with that being said, we also talk about AI. So with AI, since there are several at this point AI programs and software and things of that nature that have been implemented and created, artificial intelligence is probably next door to metaverse. Like if anything, I would say they're cousins, because you can use artificial intelligence nowadays to produce anything. We've done company structure. I've done children's books. I've done all these different things that I didn't even think would be possible, especially in a short time frame. It pretty much cuts your time in half when it comes to producing, especially company structure. I'm in process of launching a website right now, and I was able to get the structure, the pricing, the subscription, how this is going to be set up, how it's going to work, and how we can market it to where we can get to the necessary audience. So there's a lot of benefits to integrating into the metaverse, and then also using AI or leverage AI to be able to push your business forward and get things going a lot faster versus, you're doing it on your own. I would say,
can I stop you just for a second? Quick question. Okay, so I saw a couple of people in the chat, and I have this question. So what could that look like for a person who is maybe in a service-based business like insurance or real estate? How could they leverage the metaverse? And I know we're going to be talking more about AI today, but I really wanted to, since you went there, I really wanted to kind of bring that out, because I see Tony, he asked the question, how can we get to people in the metaverse if we're selling a service like that? How do we productize our services in the metaverse, and what kind of virtual environment, could we have there to be able to host maybe a session where people can learn about what we do?
Well, so far from my experience with other business owners in the metaverse, there's people that have law firms There are people that have colleges that have integrated into the metaverse. Like, for example, Morehouse College has integrated into the metaverse and is actually having its students that don't necessarily want to go onto campus to be able to do school in the metaverse, in physical avatar, in the app Engage. I have made connections with other businesses. Like, I know someone that has a product company that is for natural hair. She integrated into the metaverse and put her store in there, and was able to have it set up where people could click on the virtual item and they can purchase the item on her website. So it is different things that can be implemented depending on your services. The people are already there. So if they see that you have a insurance company or an insurance business per se that in the metaverse, and you're in one of these platforms, all you would do is do exactly what you do, is market it, put yourself out there and explain to them, or market yourself as, okay, we are at this brick and mortar location, but we're also located in Engage. And here's the code where you can access our Engage virtual world. You can engage on your phone. You can engage on your computer. And then if you have a headset, you can also go in there virtually. So a lot of these companies that have virtual worlds set up already, they have a way for you to be able to access them from all aspects of technology, mobile, computer, and headset. So it's the same concept. For example, I'll use me as an example. So with Divine Lux Properties, I have offices for Divine Lux Properties in virtual worlds, and I also have properties that are virtual as well. Like, for example, I did a contract for a claim development company. They have a well, they sell. I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. Excuse me. They sell tiny homes. So they wanted a virtual experience to show the floor plans of their 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 tiny homes. So me and my partner built them out, and they were able to get a virtual experience to potentially bring customers to, or also show on their website. So it just depends on, how you want to go about it. You can integrate easily. Like, if you have a building outside, that same replica of that building can be taken into the metaverse and be built out, and you can have it set up so you have a presence. Most of the time with some companies, they don't even have any they don't have they don't have the resources like headsets and things like that even in place to even be able to do it, but they want a presence there because of the demographic of people. So how you get in is you find whichever one, or you speak with someone that's qualified to give advice on where to go and how to do it, and you walk through the process. For example, how we do it, we view what your building looks like, and if you have an idea of how you want to execute it in a different direction, we do that as well. And then we just build it, we launch it, you do a launch party, or we do an event or a TED Talk or something in the area so people know that you're there. And from there, the traffic is literally going to come because it's already a market there for it.
Thank you for that. I really wanted to make sure, because, giving people the information but not really explaining it to them to tell them how sometimes could lead them to still feel like, okay, this is not possible for my company.
It's
But
very possible.
it's very possible. I can attest to it.
It's not hard, because if you think about it, if you want to go the virtual headset way, what you would spend on the headset, what I've spent on the headset, my headset costs $100. Okay. Initially, my headset cost around my old headset cost about $500. Each of those headsets, since I've integrated, have paid for themselves more than once because of the demographic of people that that are in the headset and they see a need for it, see a need for business there. So the growth is there, the audience is there. You just have to get in. And a lot of people have trouble with the getting in aspect. But when I tell you it's super simple, especially if you're connected and you have someone that already knows how to do it, it's a no-brainer. It literally, you
What
can't.
she's saying is that we have someone that knows how to do it. So we can go to Divine Lex Properties to get us some assistance there. Okay, so for the sake of time, can you jump in and tell us a little bit about AI? Tell us how we can use AI to assist us, because a lot of people on the line are solo practitioners. We are working from home or working in a small office. We don't have a staff. Maybe we have one person who's our assistant. And when I say we, I'm just kind of showing you the avatar of the companies that you have available on the line, or people who are going to watch this later. A lot of us are, small shops. And so what is it that we can do or have the AI do that will help us to do business better?
Well, I mean, there are, when it comes to AI, it is all in the tool that you use. Basically, compared to what it was 6 months ago, it has grown leaps and bounds to be able to do so much. I work on AI on a daily basis. Like I stated, I've done structure for companies. I've done virtual experiences where I say, okay, I would like to build a city. And in that city, I would like to have an event that's a TED Talk. And I would like to be able to have it look as futuristic as possible.
Can you
And
show us something?
yes.
Is there something you can show us so that we'll see, we can put our eyes on this thing?
So I'll go ahead and do this in front of you. So I'm going to go to an AI website and I'm going to type in a prompt, and then you'll see what the prompt brings up, just to give you an example.
What's a prompt? Some of us don't know.
A prompt is what you tell AI to do for you in great detail so that it can produce the product that you're looking for. Ultimately, it can take a couple of tries, but if you're detailed enough, it will produce it most likely on the first try. So that's just example what it is. I'm going to share my screen. And you'll be able to see that I almost have exhausted. Some of these AI websites have a limit. Yes, a lot of them are free. Yes, a lot of them are free. Some of them have like an upcharge type thing, but this one particularly that I'm using, they allow you to prompt AI 15 times a day. And then they also have a second party part of the site where you can do it as many times as you want. So this is what I'll do. I have to have so many windows. I'm happy I haven't shared my screen yet because I am virtually my computer is a mess. But I'm going to go and grab. Okay, so I'll do it this way. I'm going to use Microsoft Designer and Copilot.
Okay, I'm putting that in the chat, by the way. Microsoft Designer.
Okay, and then
both of these are free.
Yes, they are. Let me see. And just give me one moment here. I'm still pulling everything up here. It's not what I was looking for.
Okay, while she's getting set up, the interesting thing about, when you choose to use AI in a way that is meaningful for your company, you begin to really see, the results, and it is actually something that's kind of, I want to say, contagious because, other people see what you're doing and they start asking you, how are you able to produce that so fast? And how do you get out these free ebooks to people, about certain things, in such just a quick way. And so what we've done is we have a certain amount of content, and that content we'll drop it in the AI and say, okay, I need to make this into an ebook. And it'll take the content that we have. We're not asking it to create content. We're asking it to take our content and create the ebook so that I can turn it around and give it back to the clients, based on the research that we've done. And so it'll set up everything. It'll create the chapter titles. It will do everything for us, and in that respects. And I was using for a while a software called Jasper, which had a very powerful AI behind it. It was before ChatGPT was available for people to use, the general public to use. I was a part of that beta, so I got an opportunity to see ChatGPT before it was released to the public. But interestingly enough, we used another one called Writer. And then we had one called Automatic Script that we use. And so these are all ways that we were able to produce the content that we needed to give to our clients so that they could have, access to the educational materials that we have created. And so I just wanted to share that because I know a lot of times people are like, well, gosh, you guys are putting that stuff out so fast. How are you getting out that fast? And that's how, because we don't have to have a huge staff. We have people who know how to prompt, and we have people who know, I tell them, tell it this. And I teach my staff how they can do the prompts so that they can get the result quickly, as opposed to it taking so long for them to get the result. But we use mostly free services. But I have to say that a lot of times it is, really, you get what you pay for. Because there are some services out there and, it's not very accurate. They don't cite their sources. You don't know where they're getting the information. Plagiarism is a real thing, so you want to make sure that you're using AI that has a credible source behind it, and that you can get it to tell you where it got the information so you can, verify and qualify that information before you put it out in a book. Okay, Javon,
I am at the tail end. I'm coming up with something to generate.
Great. Here.
Okay, I'm here. All right. So I'm going to use a prompt here. So I have.
You can't see your screen.
Okay, 1 second here. Okay, so I'm going to show my screen. Do I have permission to show my screen?
Oh, that's the problem. Okay, sorry.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I'm showing my screen now. So I have come up with a prompt to so I come up with a prompt kind of just to basically, the prompt that I use is you are a student attending a history class in the year 2050. Your classroom is not a physical space, but rather a dynamic, immersive environment within the metaverse. So it's going to this prompt is going to cause this AI, which is in Designer and Copilot, to give you a illustration of what this potentially could look like in the metaverse. So I'm going to go ahead and do my prompt and send it up there. It's going to give me a response, and then it's going to provide me what I asked for. It's just typing back to me that it's responding. Okay, so it's going to give me a scenario. I gave it a scenario. So it's going to give me, what it's going to come up with. So this is going to kind of show you whether or not instead it gave me websites since I gave it a scenario. So let's see. Let's come up with a prompt.
While she's doing that, I want to read what it's saying here. Hello, this is Microsoft Designer. I can help you create exciting images by presenting you with diverse, bold, fun, creative, and whimsical choices for the image elements that add some flair. However, it seems like you're not asking me to draw anything, but rather giving me a scenario to imagine. Is that correct? If so, I can try to generate some content based on your scenario, such as a poem, a story, or a song. What would you like me to do? Alternatively, if you want me to draw something related to your scenario, you can give me a more specific prompt, such as draw me a history teacher in the metaverse or draw me a holographic textbook. I will do my best to create a stunning visual creation for you. Please let me know what you
It's
prefer.
important when you're prompting to be really detailed. So that's to show you an error of how, you know, that you have to be extremely detailed when it comes to certain AI. I mean, they'll start to spit out all kinds of things that, you know, that you don't necessarily want. And you only get so many tries with this one. So I just typed in a brief one. And I just put in the AI, create a VR world for a classroom in 2050 in the metaverse. So from there, it's going to give me a few different options. Now, this is exactly what it would look like if you wanted to like revamp your logo, or you wanted to also change your branding and things like that as well. So it works just like that.
That sounds like a very interesting and futuristic request. I've created a VR. Oh, there it is. Okay, it's coming. It is creating.
So this is what it came up with.
And it gives you 4 options, Javon, all the time?
It gives you 4 options each time. And now that's specific to this AI. Not all AI does this as far as how many options it gives you. So it spit out all different types. Like you're in a history class, and it put up a holographic version of what previous history has looked like. So typically with something like this, we could also go back and type in make it a 3D model, floor plan. Plan with, make sure I'm spelling, with the above concept. Okay, and I'm just going to provide a 3D model and software to kind of give it a little more depth, similar to Blender. All right.
Now, the interesting thing about this, a lot of times what I find is when I'm doing things graphically like this, I had it to create the co-working graphic that you all see, on our YouTube page. And I was very specific, and it did it so fast, it made my head spin. I mean, which gave me the ability to not have to take as long to get our podcast information out there, because everything that I needed, I told it exactly what I needed it to do. I gave it all of the information, and it created my descriptions and all of that. And I was able to plug that in based on what I told it we were going to offer. I kind of gave it some prompts, to say we're going to have this on this day, this on this day, this on this day, and this is what we did today, and here is what I talked about, and I need you to create a description for me. And it has created all of those descriptions
So here we go.
the software.
This is what it came up with. So basically made a virtual environment that's a classroom. It also included, people to show an illusion of what it typically could look like. So it gave you a little bit of a floor plan. It gave you what it would look like as a setup. Now, this is just an example, but I want to grab someone that is in the chat. I'm going to grab Tony Aranda, and I'm going to ask Tony Aranda, what is the color scheme and the name of his business. I'm going to use his business as an example to show you the options for branding. So drop them in the chat if you can, your business name, Tony, and your business color scheme.
Okay.
He could also just tell you, Javon.
Oh, you can tell him. I didn't know if he was like, I couldn't see him, so I didn't know if he was like just here watching or if I could.
Oh, no, he's here.
Okay.
I'm here. I'm virtually here.
Are you virtually here? Okay, so let's see. Create a logo.
Okay, you ready?
Yes. Go
I actually
ahead.
do need a logo. Okay, team Team Optimum,
Team.
color, gray, silver, black, and maybe a deep candy blue.
You said black.
Uh-huh. And then like a silver gray type, and deep candy blue.
And what does that business serve? What's the purpose that it serves?
Safeguarding people and businesses, families and businesses' income, and protecting the retirement income.
So is this an insurance company? That's what she's trying to get.
It's a financial services.
Okay.
Okay, financial services. Okay.
So the prompt that I used is create a logo for Team Optimum, color scheme, black, silver gray, deep candy blue. This is a financial services company making modern design in 3D. So let's go.
Let's go.
Okay, so it says I can help you create a logo for Team Optimum Financial Service Company with a modern design in 3D using color scheme, black, silver, gray, deep candy blue. I've created a logo for you based on your description, and it's going to get rid of the words. Couldn't get
We don't read fast enough.
Look, I was going about how I was going, but it moves fast. Okay, so
Oh,
that's
wow.
now there may be some misspelling, so you might have to go in and ask it for other options just to get the spelling right. But just that's kind of what it does. Sometimes you have to go in and have it make more options and make sure the spelling is correct. So more options.
Yeah, spelling's off.
Very much so. Please correct misspelling. Then most likely it's going to apologize. Misspelled.
I like that bottom right. It's pretty cool too.
I apologize for misspelled business name. I've corrected the team. All right, so we got more options coming up.
This is Copilot.
Yes, this is Copilot and Microsoft Designer. I'll put the link for it in the chat so that you can click on it and save it so you can go to it later.
How does it? So is it one program you're prompting in, and then it both
It's
get
not a
used? At the same time?
program, it's a website. It's not a program, it's a website. So you're prompting into the website for it to spit out. Okay, here is let me see, the chat. Okay, so I am putting in the chat the website. So go in and copy and paste. And you also on Copilot, you can get it to give it to you in a PNG export as well. So it'll make it where you can just take it out of here and be able to put it where you want to put it from that point.
Now, Javon, is this one where you could actually take it to Photoshop and make other changes
It
and
has
things?
its own, so you can go and make modifications to it in Designer. So same as like a Canva or a Photoshop. So you can go in and actually make modifications to it. What happened here? Okay, it's taking a minute to generate. What did it say? Your
Check your
image.
image creation process at Image Creator.
Okay. Okay. So we're gonna go back and we're gonna try this again. So let's have more options with description.
In the Image Creator, does it actually give you the process, I mean the link over there?
No, it just allows you to go and take it over there. You can't make modifications to it from there though.
But
You
I'm
have
saying, so in other words, could we see what it already did or over there?
usually, but I think it's an error. Okay, so just put with description above, provide more options. So it's going to generate again. It may have been a little bit of issue because I saw that I was a little bit glitchy too. So that might have impacted what it came out to. Okay, so let me have it. Okay, here we go. Now we're cooking with grease. Did you get that? Did everyone get that link?
Yes.
And when she's finished with this one, we're almost out of time. This has been great.
Went
And we're really
fast.
excited about, being able to do this kind of thing in co-working so people can actually have, that's what co-working is designed for us to not just share information, but to kind of show you how. Okay. How do we do it? How do we get from point A to point B? So while she's doing this on Saturday, we'll have another co-working session. Today is our last co-working session for during the week, but on Saturday we'll have another co-working session, and it'll be a hands-on session as well. So please, if you are desirous of, kind of jumping in there on Saturday morning, it reminds me of what we used to do when we go to Home Depot, when they had a lot of the guys out there teaching you how to do different things. How do you build a flower bed? How do you
Yeah.
create these kinds of opportunities? And so we will do these things every day to just kind of give everybody an opportunity to, cause it to be more meaningful, to you. You want to copy it? Does it give you the ability to copy and paste your previous prompts, Javon?
I didn't copy and paste it. So I had to refresh the page. So I had to
Okay.
type in everything else all over again. So I didn't copy it this time.
Because we're going to run out of time here. But what
Okay.
I was going to say is that we can, in a future session, start in right here where we're doing some using of the Designer and Copilot, and then there are a couple of other AI softwares that I should say webware, that's on the internet that you could utilize, and we want to show you how to use those too. Real quick, if we're gonna. Javon, what you can do is you can communicate with Tony offline and give him the results of this particular logo. So Tony, why don't you drop your information to Javon in a private chat so that she can send this to you when she's finished. And then what we're going to do, I'm going to ask you if you stop sharing your screen for a minute because I want to share a couple of things before we jump off today.
Okay. Let me stop sharing my screen.
Thank you, Javon. If you guys found that helpful, let's give her a virtual handshake, or not handshake, a hand clap. Woo-hoo. Yeah, yeah. That is awesome. We really did enjoy that, and I'm excited about what it is that we're doing over here at Red Worldwide. She's continuing to work feverishly to make sure that she gets that information out to Tony, and we'd like to be able to use a few other of our um, uh, clients and others and guests, as examples in what it is that we do. So, we want to make sure that we're always having you guys in a position where you feel comfortable enough to share. But right before we get off, I wanted to make some announcements. So give me just a second. I'm going to jump back over here. And we have coming next week a couple of things that I want you to be aware of. We are actually going to be live from Florida on Monday and Tuesday. So Florida is a place where we'll be a couple of times this year for the Value Builder Summit. And so we will, be giving you some on-the-spot updates about what's happening in the world of business value. Some of you all are, wanting to make sure that your companies are very valuable. And so we're providing you insights to make that happen. And while we're at the Value Builder Summit, there will be information that they're going to release. And I just want to share that as quickly as possible with you. So on Monday is our business structure day. So while we're talking about business structure, we will be, hot off the press, providing information that we're learning at the Value Builder Summit. And then on Tuesday, we're going to be talking more about legacy, but specifically about succession. And there will be a couple of classes at the Value Builder Summit to talk about business succession. So I'm going to try and see if I can grab one of the industry experts in this area who's going to be there at the summit. He is an amazing, amazing person. He is also in insurance, and he does a lot for businesses, business owners, and people who are in family businesses. He's one of the gentlemen who told me about the book, Every Family's Business. So, which is a great book to read. I'll write that in the chat. But it's really about, how do you run a family business? How do you pass it on to your kids? What is it that you do if the kids don't want it? Okay. So, it's a really, good book. I've also written a complimentary book for some of the things that we're doing called Built to Pass. And it talks about how you utilize your estate planning structures to pass things down to your kids. And so there's 3 iterations of that book, but one specifically that deals with passing your business along to your kids, and we give that away, the audiobook version of it, so if you are interested, I'll get you the link for that so that you can have access to it and you can just listen, or you can purchase the physical book on our website. Well, with that being said, thank you so much for joining us today on Co-working. I hope you learned something, and I hope it was something that you can take with you. If there's anything that you would like to see or you want to learn, we'll be here next Thursday again, talking more about AI and how we use technology. So if you have questions or you want to have us do a deep dive into any specific software or things of that nature, please send us in our community, send a request or send us in an email a request so that we can actually make that happen for you. But in the meantime, we will see you again here on Saturday at Co-working